Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Bhagavad Gita. So, it's nice to be here among you all. And first of all, I would like to welcome Ananda Prabhu and Madhurya Mataji to the Sunday Sangha program and coordination. It's not an easy job. It requires a lot of dedication, and I'm sure they had to change their schedule a lot, do a lot of sacrifices in order to do this, because it's not a one-off. It's like giving class. You give now and then whenever you're asked. Something you have to do day in, day out, every week, and there's so many aspects to this. There's so many departments, and they're a wonderful family, and they have the facility. They have Madan player, they have a kirtaniya. I don't know if she's here today. They have a kirtaniya. They can cook. They can do everything. They're the perfect people for this task, and Krishna knows, who should have that service, so it goes to the right person. So I'm just glad, and whatever they do really well. So I think I'd like to give them 3 Haribols.
Haribol, Haribol,
We have to learn from the best from you, Prabhu. You have done this service for so many years, you and your family. So we are forever indebted to you. So it's like we know it's not easy now. So we have done a few weeks and we know it's not easy.
You have become self-employed. Congratulations. The employees always think, oh, the boss, he's making all the money, and you're not giving us enough, and I can do this. But when they open their own business, then they know it wasn't that easy as they thought. There's a lot of investment involved and a lot of risk involved. So yeah, of course, we took over from Bhajvinod Prabhu, and he took over from Nityacharan Prabhu. Like that, it's a disciplined succession, so to speak. And that's what we're talking about today. So let's pray first of all. Om Gyanatimittasya Gyananjana Shalakya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Samrupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapadakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnava Shri Rupam Sagajatam Saganara Gunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadhvetam Sadhutam Krishna Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Shisa He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kant Radha Kant Namastute Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavan Vishwari Vishabhanu Sutadevi Pranmami Hari Priye Vanchakalpata Prihascha Kripa Sindhuvecha Patitana Pavnebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasi Gaur Bhakt Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Kroti Vachana Bhangam Lavite Hrim Jat Kripa Tamana Shri Guru Dindaran Brahmananda Madana Shri Chataneshram Hari Om Tassat. Okay, so we're looking at verse 4.2. So we'll read that first, then we'll take it from there. Evam parampara praptam Evam Rajrishya Vidhu Sakal Neha Mahata Yogo Nashta Parantapa. So Evam is thus, parampara by discrete succession, praptam received, Imam this science, Rajrishya is the saintly kings, Vidhu understood, Saha that knowledge, Kalneya in the course of time, Iha in this world, Mahanta great, Yoga the science of one's relationship with the Supreme, Nastaha scattered, Parantap O Arjun, subduer of the enemies. So Evam Parampara Praptam, Imam Rajrishya Vidhu, Sakal Neha Mahata, Yogo Nashta Parantapa. Would somebody like to? Sorry, Mataji? Like to cite the verse?
Yom parampara praptam imam Rajra Vidu Sakal Nehe Mata Yoga Nashta Parantapa.
Thank you. Anybody else? The Matajis?
Evam parampara praptam imam rajarishyo vidu sakalaneha mahata yoga nashta parantapa.
Thank you. Prabhu's.
एवं परंपरा प्राप्तम् इमां राजस्य यो विदुः सकालेनेह महता योगो नष्टा परन्तप.
One more. Vishnu.
एवं परंपरा प्राप्तम् इमं राजस्य यो विदुः सकालेन महता योगो नष्टा परन्तप.
Thank you so much. So this supreme science was thus received through the chain of disciplic succession, and the saintly kings understood it in that way. But in the course of time, the succession was broken, and therefore the science as it is appears to be lost. Purport by Srila Prabhupada, it is clearly stated that the Gita was especially meant for the saintly kings because they were to execute its purpose in ruling over the citizens. Certainly, Bhagavad Gita was never meant for demonic persons who would dissipate its value for no one's benefit and would devise all types of interpretations according to personal whims. As soon as the original purpose was scattered by the motives of the unscrupulous commentators, there arose the need to re-establish the disciplic succession. 5,000 years ago, it was detected by the Lord himself that the disciplic succession was broken, and therefore he declared that the purpose of the Gita appeared to be lost. In the same way, at the present moment, also there are so many editions of the Gita, especially in English, but almost all of them are not according to authorized disciplic succession. There are innumerable interpretations rendered by different mundane scholars, but almost all of them do not accept the Supreme Personality Godhead, Krishna, although they make a good business on the words of Sri Krishna. This spirit is demonic because demons do not believe in God but simply enjoy the property of the Supreme. Since there is a great need of an edition of the Gita in English, as it is received by the Parampara, disciplic succession system, and attempt is made herewith to fulfill this great want. Bhagavad Gita, accepted as it is a great boon to humanity, but if it is accepted as a treatise of philosophical speculations, it is simply a waste of time. Hare Krishna. So I had the Bhagavad Gita in the house, I think about 30 years ago, and it was Bhagavad Gita as it is, because that's how it remained, as it is, on the shelf for a long time. I saw the photos in there, nice pictures, and I put it back, and then I think Radharani, she loves to read. She read anything, I had to just grab books and leaflets, always reading. And one day she grabbed it from there and read it, and she said, "My God, have you read this? This is amazing." And then we started researching on it. So it's a good thing. But otherwise, it would have just stayed there as it is. And anyway, so this verse we're talking about the parampara. Now, just thinking, my grandson, he got a train for his second birthday, and this train has come all the way from South Korea. Although I think the English invented it, but now we have to go to South Korea to get one. The train model, and it comes with very limited carriages. So, but you can add carriages to it. Here, you can buy locally, and then make it a bigger train. So, parampara is built like that. It's like a train. You got the disciplic succession pulling you, but you have to be connected, and you have to stay on the track. Only then you can get to your destination, right? You have to connect yourself to the parampara. Or sometimes it's compared to a chain, that chain of disciplic succession, chain of masters and disciples, and it goes on like that. And in verse 4.1, Krishna says that I gave this knowledge to the sun god. and he gave it to his son Vivasvan, or rather gave it to, he gave it to Manu, and Manu gave it to Ikshvaku. So like that, in a disciplic succession, this knowledge is passed on. Starts from Krishna, and then is passed on lower and lower and lower, then it sort of comes to us. And if you see actually on page, I don't know, here, this page 29, I know, just that there's a disciplic succession here, page 29. So start with Krishna, and number 32 ends up with A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So Krishna to Brahma, to Narad, to Vyas, Madhva, Padamnath, Narhari, Madhav, Akshobhya. So like that, it goes all the way 32 times. And this is just one, obviously, there's obviously other chains. But this is our chain because we are Brahma, Madhava, Gaudiya Vaishnavas, right? So this is our chain. That's why we are more concerned about this chain, because this is a chain that we are linked to. This is a chain that's going to take us back to our destination, right? So, disciplic succession, what does that mean? So, disciplic succession means that is passed on from one to another, from a master to a disciple, without any alteration. Without any alteration. There's no changes. The knowledge remains as it is, like Srila Prabhupada says, as it is. It remains. It doesn't get altered or filtered in any way, which you might find like Chinese whispers. The information down the road is changed. It doesn't change. It remains as it is. And same as Srimad Bhagavatam. So Krishna gave the information or the intelligent knowledge to Lord Brahma in the heart. Yeah, Tene Brahma Hirdaya, as is mentioned in verse 1. The information goes into Brahma's heart. He gives this knowledge to Narada. Narada gives to Vyasadeva, and Vyasadeva gave to his son Suta, Shukadev Goswami, and then Suta Goswami heard it from him, told the sages, and we all got to know about it. So it's passed on. Knowledge is passed on. Vyasadeva obviously, he penned everything for us, so we can, because we don't have that kind of memory. So we can't remember one shloka. Never mind the whole 700 shlokas or expanded version into Bhagavatam of 18,000 shlokas. We're not going to remember, and they know that because they have vision of the Kali Yuga. What's coming. People are useless, right? Mentally, physically, we are sort of very deficient. So it's penned down for us. So these spiritual masters, there has to be qualification for someone to be a spiritual master. So, or someone to sit on the Vyasasana. Someone to sit here on the Vyasasana, you have to have some kind of qualification. So in ISKCON, at least, the person who's sitting in this seat should be initiated by a guru, should be chanting 16 rounds, and should be following the 4 regulations I'm sure you all familiar with. So that is at least the qualification for someone to give or attempt to give some kind of class. It's not this class, it's more of a, I'm like the postman, just passing the message on from what I have received from one place, I'm passing it on to you. It's not my own knowledge, I have received it. For my spiritual master, I'm passing it on to yourself, just passing on the post. It's like that. So it's same with Suta Goswami in Srimad Bhagavatam. The sages asked him to sit on the Vyasasana because he was qualified, right? He had all those qualities. He was following the regulations. So they asked him to sit on the Vyasasana and recite Bhagavad to them. So that is the way. That is the way to do it. So it says here, then the Raj Rishis used to receive this knowledge from the sages. So, first thing is, what is a Raj Rishi? It seems like a contradiction. How can you be a Raja and a Rishi? It is not possible, is it? But these kings, they spent so much time with the sages that they became sages as well. I mean, Lord Chaitanya didn't want to meet Pratap Rudra Maharaj because he said he's a king. I don't want to meet a king. They are just into sense gratification. I don't want nothing to do with the king, although he was a great devotee and he did get his own way in the end because he was determined. So kings are meant to be doing a lot of sense gratification. So how can they be rishis? But they can be rishis, and we have examples in Srimad Bhagavatam of sages or rather kings who are like sages. So what is a Raj Rishi? Rishi means renounced and Raja means king. King has responsibilities and Rishi is, like I said, is renounced. So you take on your responsibilities in a renounced consciousness, in a renounced way. That's the idea. It does not mean that you are a king, that you just remain attracted onto the material plane, attached to material plane, and just because you have a sagely mentality that you don't take on responsibilities, and because I'm renounced, I don't have to do anything. So it's not like that. It's a combination of the two things, and we have so many examples. Yudhishthira Maharaj, Parikshit Maharaj, Ambrish Maharaj, Dhruva, Prahlad, Priyavrat, so many examples of these people who were renounced. They were doing their duty, but they were renounced. So what happened when Krishna left and the Pandavas found out that now it's time for us to leave as well? Because I think Narad came down and he told them that you should be preparing to leave. He gave them a hint. He didn't tell them exactly that Krishna, because nobody wants to be the bearer of bad news. He didn't tell them that Krishna has left this world, but he just gave them a hint that maybe you should be preparing to leave as well. And when they did find out from Arjun, straight away, they left everything, went to the forest, renounced everything. Just like Parikshit Maharaj, he renounced everything, lock, stock, barrel, just gave up the whole family, his kingdom, his chariots, his wealth, everything, just renounced. Because they had the renouncing spirit. Bharat Maharaj, he had his inclination, he wants to go to the forest. He gave up his wife, his family. So it's like that. So it's the renouncing spirit is very, very important, which is lacking. Now we are sort of attached to so many things, right? We are on the material plane. And there is no spiritual culture. And that's what we need to preserve. It's the title of this class, Preserving Spiritual Culture. So how do we do that? How do we become like this? Because we are, in a way, like those, like kings, at least in our own house, or at least we like to think. Wife may think differently, but we like to think we are kings. But how can we be renounced at the same time? Need to be renounced. We have to have the attitude of those kings. We have to be Raj Rishis. We are passing this information on, this transcendental knowledge, and it is transcendental knowledge. It's not any knowledge. It's transcendental vibration. This knowledge I'm sharing with you is a transcendental vibration. Krishna is absolute. His word is transcendental. His form is transcendental. Srila Prabhupada says that if Krishna's form is not transcendental, then are we just dressing up dolls? Why you get up in the morning and dress up your dolls? Why are we looking for temples? Why are you wasting time? So it's all transcendental. His temple is transcendental. The deities are transcendental. The word in the scriptures is transcendental. It's all transcendental. So if we don't preserve spiritual culture, we will preserve material culture. That's the danger. And Srila Prabhupada explains that we're all working like cats and dogs, and I guess cats and dogs do work in their own way. Those very busy. Dogs just like sniffing all this information he's gathering. he's an information IT expert, always checking for smell this, smell that, and the cat's always like jumping from here to there, and they can see they're thinking of something, what can they catch? So we're working like cats and dogs, in our own way. So, but we're not thinking about God. Like, oh, what's my purpose here? What's my connection with God? We're not thinking. And the people who are thinking, they just want a quick fix. They want to find God with their, material senses. Oh, yes, I want to believe in God, but I can't see Him, I can't hear Him, can't touch Him. That's because you have mundane senses. You're not going to be able to see Him. You can't see something spiritual with mundane, blunt senses. Simple as that. And Srila Prabhupada explains that there's 3 types of praman, like information gathering systems that one can use. And normally, which use the very simple, basic one, which is, using our senses. We believe in what we can see, touch, hear. That's the basic way. But that is like child's play, because like the mother is telling the child, look, that's a bus, that's a car, this is an apple, this is an orange, and the child like takes in the information. Oh yeah, big vehicle with wheels, it's a bus, or that's a truck, looks like that, car looks like this. That's just basic information. But because it's taken with our mundane senses, it's okay to that level, but you can't get God information with those mundane senses. Because our senses, like I said, are imperfect, especially our eyes. If you want to look at that clock now, you can't see it because you're facing this way. You would have to ask me, what's the time? Or you have to look around. You can't see outside these 4 walls. That's why they put the windows there, right? We can't see ultraviolet, we can't see infrared. We're so limited just in our side. We can't hear ultrasound, we can't hear infrasound. So limited, again, so many things. So that's one issue we have. How can we find the highest thing, highest knowledge with these mundane senses? And then on top of that, we have another 3 defects. This is one defect, imperfect senses. Then we have another 3 defects. We get illusioned. We get illusioned so easily. You see something on TV or hear about something, you can get the smell. You start smelling. That's illusion, isn't it? You get smelling. Somebody talks about some food, and suddenly that smell comes to you somehow or other. And I was going to just talk about this, because we talk about kings, like the Roman kings or the Tudors or kings like that. They are always worried. They're in illusion. They're always worried, always afraid of somebody's going to assassinate them, or somebody's going to be like Indra, somebody's going to take their thrones. They saw their friends as their enemies and enemies as their friends. They're so illusioned. Right? And so what they would do, there will come a time when they kill them all, because they had enemies, and then they had imaginary enemies as well. That's the problem with the kings. They had imaginary enemies. They imagined a lot of people as their enemy, so that they get them all killed to make sure they're safe. So we get illusioned so easily. And Srila Prabhupada explained about the mirage in the desert, where you see water and water's not actually there. So our mind plays tricks on us. So how can we trust it? We can't trust our eyes, we can't trust our mind. And then talk about making mistakes. That's the next defect. We make mistakes. There's nobody in this room who can say that they've never said to themselves, if I could go back in time, I would do things differently. Right? We would all do things differently. Every day I think like that about when I was younger, when I was at school, and other days thinking, if I could go back in time, I'll know what I'm doing. But I didn't know what I'm doing, right? And I probably wouldn't, because if I went back in time, I'll be young again, different body, and I would still make the same mistakes. And I probably made them in my last life. I'll still make them in this life. But you think, if I could go back in time, I won't make these mistakes. I know what to do now, but I won't. Right? So we make mistakes. That's natural. It's natural for us to make mistakes. And finally, cheating propensity. That's the 4th defect we have. We like to cheat. Srila Prabhupada explains that we try to be something we are not. We like to show we are very intelligent, we're very clever, even though we might be number 1 fools. Right? Srila Prabhupada's words. We're number one fools, but we like to show we're very intelligent. We can wear a nice suit and tie and try to act intelligent. But yeah, so we like to cheat. We like to cheat wherever we can. If we can get away with something, we will. We'll try it. It's natural. We have a cheating propensity. It's nobody's fault. That's the 4 defects this conditioned soul comes with. And I'm saying conditioned soul. The real soul does not have, when it's pure soul, it doesn't have these defects. When it's conditioned, the material energy, it has these defects. So this Paraman, going with the checking things, understanding things with our material senses does not work. There's another stage after that, it's called Anuman. Anuman, Paraman. By hypothesis. So you have some information and you use that information to come to a hypothesis or educated guess about something. And people try to guess about God. They have some information and they can think they can concoct their own, imagination about what God is, or his nature, he's of some kind of force, he's this, he's that. They come up with their own ideas. That's all Anuman. We're taking a guess. Just reading that in the origin of species, even Darwin admitted that he took an Anuman about this origin of species, that humans come from apes, because he was trying to find, how did life came into this universe, how did it develop? He couldn't find it. He looked in the wrong places, right? He's trying to find it, and then he just took a wild guess. I know, we all came from apes, and we developed like this, and we stood up, Homo erectus, and then we became human. We started cooking food, and we became intelligent, like that. We came. That's it. Then he says, I guessed it, and people believed it. People believe anything. If you say convincingly, people believe anything. You can convince them if you're good enough. This is how advertising works. If you're smart at convincing people, they'll believe anything. And I was also reading somewhere that people will eat anything if you convince them to eat it. Because we've had so many births, we had so many lives, we've even been hogs. So I don't want to go into detail about that, but we have been hogs at some point. If we've been into the cycle of birth and death, the 8.4 million lives, we have been hogs. So we're used to eating that kind of stuff. Somebody could convince you to eat it, and that would trigger in your head. Yes, maybe, there's like vitamins in there or whatever, I don't know. But can be convinced. We're so easily fooled. And there's this other example about 6 blind people, and they met an elephant for the first time, and they were each touching different parts of the elephant. One was touching the body, the other one was touching the tusk, and the trunk, the leg, the tail, the ear, like that 6. So the one who's touching the body, he was asked to describe, what do you think an elephant is? He said, I think it's like a wall that's about to fall down. The one who's touching the trunk, he says, no. I think an elephant is like a snake, because he's touching the trunk. And the one who's touching the tusk, he says, no, I think something smooth, very sharp. It's like a spear, right? Because that's the only information he's got. He's blind. One touching the tail, he says, no, I think it's like a rope. It's like a rope. It just curls. It's like a rope. And the one who's touching the air, he's thinking it's like a fan, because the air is moving. So yeah, it's like a fan. So they don't really have the full information. They're coming to a conclusion just by that little bit of information they got, and then they had to meet somebody who could see, and he explained to them, yes, this elephant has got all these qualities, and this is how he actually looks like with all these qualities together. You only have part of the information, so you need full information. That's how you can come to a proper conclusion. Now the thing is, with God, we can't, we don't have the eyes, we don't have the intelligence, or rather the eyes and intelligence won't work here. even if we did have, they don't work in this, because it's spiritual. We are material. It won't work. At least our bodies are material. Soul is spiritual. So there's a third Parman, it's called Shabd Parman. That means hearing from higher authorities, and then you get the knowledge. And that higher knowledge comes from higher authorities. It's like, example is of if you want to know who your father is, only the higher authority can tell you. And that's, in this case, would be the mother. Only she could tell you who your father is, and you would believe her. She was not going to lie to you. You say, okay, that's my father. It saved you a lot of messing about, trying to ask different people or doing a biological chemical research on who could be my father. Just ask the authority. She knows already, and she'll tell you, this is your father. And his job is done. So same with this knowledge. You go to authority. You go to this information we're talking about, like that, like parampara. You ask the parampara about God, and they will tell you, because they have that knowledge. But people try to find knowledge in the wrong places. So we talk about this culture, this Kali Yuga. We need this spiritual culture. Without that, we are not protected. We are very vulnerable in the Kali Yuga without spiritual culture, because Maya, material energy, is so strong in the Kali Yuga. You got no chance. So what do? You got no chance. You don't know where to find God. Connect to the parampara, connect to a society. Srila Prabhupada built a house the whole world could live in, and that's called ISKCON. It's called ISKCON, right? International Society of Krishna Consciousness. It's called a society. It's the house that the whole world can live in, every walk of life. And collectively, you can beat Maya, because we all take in shelter of Krishna. Together, when you do it, Maya is not that strong. Maya is strong, one-to-one is very strong. But when it comes to us together, Maya is not that strong. Together we can beat Maya, because we got Krishna on our side. Right? Together we have Krishna, we take in shelter of Krishna. Maya can't beat us. So, it's very important to take shelter of Krishna. It's very important to take shelter of devotees, of a society. It's very, very important. Otherwise we'll be lost without it. So it's called our protection. We need to protect ourselves through a society. We need to, now we are all part of that society, right? We're all part of the society. And it's not an 80-20 rule that 20% of people do 80% of the work, or the devotee care. It's a job for everyone. We all look after each other. We all protect each other. We help each other. Any new person that comes to Krishna consciousness, say is from Birmingham, but they must feel protected. They must feel appreciated. And we should all have that mentality. So how it works, you have a caring mentality, you have a caring attitude, and you have caring actions. Right? Mentality means your mindset should be caring. It's not all about you or all about me. You look at it as the whole of society, or whole of the family, Krishna conscious family. We should have that mindset that we are going to look after. Any new person comes, how can we make them welcome? How can we make them stay? How can we care for them? That mentality. And then to show it by your feeling and willing, how you behave with them, your attitude, and your actions, your empathy, right? And your support that you give them. You show it by action as well. And they feel, yes, this is where I belong, this is where I should be. And then together we're protected, because we are on our own, we can't protect ourselves. Be part of the parampara, right? Be part of the society, so it can take you along to the destination. There's a devotee care, I think we tried it here as well. the devotee care society, like in the manor, they have a devotee, and like there's 12 different aspects of devotees that they look after. You can ask for help from there. And but like I said, it's not just about somebody doing devotee care and everybody else just relying on them. It's for everybody taking charge. Everybody having that mindset that we're going to help each other, protect each other, right? And our Guru Maharaj, Jagataka Swami, he says 75% of your devotee care comes from where you are. So that 75% devotee care we should be giving here to each one of us. Give 75% of devotee care, whatever they need, whatever support and help they need. Spiritually, we help them. I'm not saying ask for money. We're having to about spiritual help. We help each other. And then 15% comes nationally. Sport. If the sport is not here, it will come nationally, and 10% comes internationally scale. So there's help. The 100% help is there, just divided into 3 sections. 75% comes within your temple. And that's the mindset, the attitude, and the actions we need to take to have that everybody can feel they're loved and they're appreciated, and then they will do more for the society together. So that's the idea. So just to conclude, we have to follow paramparas. Please be connected, remain connected to the parampara. Make sure your knowledge is coming from Sadhu Shastra and Guru. It should be more bona fide. It must come from the parampara itself, and remain connected to your, at least to your local society, because that's more convenient, and follow the path that we should follow. Shripad ki.
Jai.
So if you have any questions, any doubts, or anything you'd like to add, I'd like to hear from you. What's the time? 50 minutes, yeah? Thank you, bro. So please follow it.
True. Thank you, wonderful class. I have a question. So Kumbh Mela is going on currently. Many different saints and Naga Babas and different sadhus there. And I've seen some videos where some of these sadhus are fake. They're pulling off the wig and the haircut is revealed. So you mentioned about this parampara system, and many different sadhus are there. How do we know who a spiritual master is? How do we know someone is giving the right knowledge that is unbroken, the Sabda Brahman is unbroken? How do we know?
Thank you, Swami. So that's why we're talking about paramparas. I mean, why else would Krishna mention parampara? Because whoever gives the knowledge, they must be connected to a parampara, and the parampara must lead on and with Krishna. So the knowledge, because only Krishna can tell you about himself, nobody else. We can only guess, Hanuman, Brahman, that's all we're doing. So the information has to be coming from Krishna. If you want to know about Krishna, then it has to come from him. And that's where the information comes from. Now, as far as the Guru is concerned, if you have doubts, is this the Guru? Everybody can say I'm a Guru, but you ask that Guru, that who am I, and who is God, and what's my relationship with God? If he can tell you that, and if he agrees Guru, Shastra, Sadhu, if that information is correct, I mean we all already have been given the information. Maybe somebody very new doesn't know that, but if they ask you, how do I know this Guru is genuine? Is he connected to the parampara? And does he know who we are? And what's our connection with Krishna? And who is Krishna? Is he demigod? Is he the Supreme Personality Godhead? Who is he? So you need that kind of information. Otherwise, you can be misled. Sri Prabhupada said there's a lot of cheaters about. So we have to be very careful who we follow. Yeah.
Can I say something? I think if you ask the person, first question, who is personality of Godhead? If the person knows Krishna is personality of Godhead, he is on the right track. That's the main thing, yeah. That's the main thing, who is personality of God. Because a lot of people that don't believe in Krishna, they just become guru and preach anything else. But if they say Krishna is everything, that means it's genuine Krishna.
Absolutely, Mother. And so, when we talk about the absolute, we're not talking about the yogic powers and things like that. You know, these are all like part of the package, but you know, that's not what we are looking for here. We're not looking for any kind of powers or any kind of opulence. We're looking for spirituality, a connection. That's our goal, with, you know, to connect with Krishna. That's what we're looking for. You want to come closer?
Just a Prabhupada said that disciplic succession, if somebody, like if you hear Bhagavatam from disciplic succession, it got effect. And he so many times he gave example of a milk. There's a pure milk. And touched by the snake, it becomes poisonous. So if it's somebody else, like not genuine, and if you hear the Bhagavatam from them, you don't get no effect, no benefit, nothing at all.
Yes, thank you, Narayan.
Yeah.
Actually, that's one point I didn't touch on.
Yeah.
But Krishna says this knowledge has been lost. And how does that knowledge get lost? With time, everything gets degraded. It's not that the knowledge gets degraded, that's transcendental knowledge, it can't be degraded. But the communication gets degraded, the chain breaks, because you get people in there who are giving the knowledge are not qualified to give the knowledge, so it's misinterpreted and becomes inaccessible. If that knowledge is not given properly, it's misunderstood by the people. This is why I was saying earlier, and I didn't point this out, this is what I was saying, that anybody who's giving class must have at least some small qualities of giving class, in terms of they must be chanting Krishna's name, there must be following regulation, and must be initiated. That's the only reason. Somebody else could probably have a lot more knowledge, but that's the criteria followed. For that reason, that information is given in the right way by the right persons, because we are part of the parampara and we are responsible for the parampara. We are the parampara. We connected with our Guru Maharaj, who's connected to Srila Prabhupada, who's number 32 in the list. So we have connected our carriage to that train of the disciplic succession, and we are heading in the right direction. We just have to stay on the path, stay on the track. But we are responsible for that parampara. We don't want that parampara to break because of us. At least, we should feel responsible. We are part of that parampara. We all are. And we are giving information to the people, then they are part of the parampara, and they will also connect, to this succession. So it's a big responsibility to make sure that we are connecting people behind us. Now we are behind some carriages, and there'll be carriages behind us as well. We want to make sure they're securely and strongly connected to make this train bigger and bigger and goes all the way to Krishna Lok. So very responsible job. Nanda, you were saying something? Please come closer.
I just had a question, the same like my Prabhu asked for the, there are some gurus, those who will say, nowadays you see there are some people, they are becoming very popular, right? Their photos you can see, and you can say, they say, oh, some kind of, in the past we had some Babas used to give you ashes from their hand, right? And then some of them are there that it's kind of the honey coming from their photos, or the water dripping from their photos, and they are getting more attractive. People are getting more attractive for these kind of gurus. Mm-hmm. So, and when they come and so they say, when we go and we tell them about Krishna, and they say, oh, he's telling the same thing. Okay, he says that, okay, you just chant this name. So how can we explain them more, or how we can tell them about that? Okay, they can say, they say sometimes, oh, that means you're saying is my guru is not very good. Your guru is very good because he's coming from this succession, but he's also the part and parcel of Krishna because he's a soul. But he's giving a different mantra. He's not giving the Harinam, the chant Hare Krishna mantra. He's giving a different mantra, and he's saying, by chanting this mantra, you can be liberated. Sorry.
Well, first of all, you can tell them, you have mantra, we have Maha Mantra. Right? And we have Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that's one thing we have. It's very difficult to convince people who are stuck in the way, or that they believe in something. It's fine. Let them, let Krishna. Bahunam janmanmate, Gyanam prapadaite, Vasudeva srimati, Samatma Sardurlabha. It takes many, many lifetimes for people to realize that Krishna is the supreme. If they want to follow their own path, that's fine. You can only ask them. We don't want to argue with anyone. If they want to follow that path, it's okay. Even Vedas have got information 3 modes for different people. There's knowledge in there for everyone. There's hope for everyone. And why is that knowledge in different modes? Because whichever mode you follow is to elevate you to the next mode. You can follow in the mode of ignorance, but once you keep following it and you see the process works, you will get uplifted to the next mode. And then you follow that process, that will uplift you to the mode of goodness. Eventually, we all following Krishna. Krishna says that everybody is following me. Everybody is following Krishna. Even if you're after opulence, beauty, wealth, knowledge, everybody is following Krishna. Because Krishna is wealth, beauty, opulence, knowledge, fame, everything. Whatever you do, you're following Krishna. It just might take a bit longer. They want to take the long route, that's fine. I'll take junction 7, you can take junction 9. We'll still end up the same place, but it might take a bit longer to get to London, right? So we can try and convince people, give our explanation, our evidence. If they don't want it, we can't change people. The voice has to come from within. Like you did with us, something said, go there, follow this. Time comes, but sometimes you need to be elevated in stages. Sometimes you can be elevated straight away. So who knows, Prabhu? You can only try, but we can't fight with people over their beliefs. It's okay. They want to follow that. It's fine. So we have just a few minutes. Any Matajis want to ask any question? Anyway, nice to see you, Suresh Prabhu. Thank you for going. Anything you'd like to know?
Not right now.
Thank you. Nice to see you too, Prabhu. And Pranav Prabhu. Thank you, Vidya. Okay. So I can take another question, or we can leave it here, whichever. Yes, Prabhu. Kiran Prabhu.
In the Kali Yuga, the cheetahs aren't just in the jungle. At least we know where they are with the cheetahs. The cheetahs live amongst us, and we get fooled by these cheetahs. And we have to be very vigilant that we are associated with the right people, so you get on the right train. Because you could go on a train which will lead you to oblivion, towards somewhere which and where you don't want to go. And I'm mindful that I read Radhanath Swami's The Journey Home. He left America in the 60s or 70s, and he traveled by foot all the way to India.
Mm-hmm.
He met so many different sadhus, sannyasis, gurus, and magicians who could climb ropes, who could manifest vibhuti, who could manifest amrut. He said ultimately he was only interested in the absolute truth. And the absolute truth is the lotus-eyed one, the blue-skinned one, and ultimately he found his home in Vrindavan. And let's not be fooled by the cheaters. This is our home. This is the home that Srila Prabhupada has made for us. and ISKCON is our home. And I think those who are here are so blessed to be back home and on the right train to the journey that is the right journey. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing. Okay, that's fine. Okay. Shripad ki jai. Hare Krishna. So how many of you enjoyed the class?
Very nice.
Yeah, very nice. So, see, Narayan Keshava Prabhu, he got a very vast knowledge, and the way he shared everything, he took us from what we lost, what to do, and what we get in the end when we apply all these things. Okay? He mentioned he mentioned lots of points, but there were 4 crucial points he mentioned. I'm going to ask 2 points from the Prabhujis and 2 points from the Matajis. Okay? So 2 points which you can think what Prabhuji mentioned from the verse. Yes, parampara. What do you mean by parampara, Prabhuji? Parampara in your family? Yes, spirit. Guru parampara. Yes, very nice, Prabhu. One more point.
Elephant analogy, like one guy is touching the elephant and one is trying to the other is, then they are thinking different and they could not come to conclusion. This is a blind. Because I come from India, I hear really a lot of philosophies. One go Mayavadi, one go this. Because they're touching different parts of transcendental knowledge. I hope they never come to conclusion. I was searching 2 years, different gurus, then Prabhupada comes. You part and parcel of Krishna, you're supposed to be Krishna devotee, like that. So this analogy is actually moved those days. So again, he needs to so
yes, thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much. So, Narayan Keshava mentioned about Guru. Okay, how many of you came here, know the way when you come from your house? How many of you know the way? And how many of you use GPS like Satnam, or how many of you use? Yeah, okay, so for example, if we have to go from here to London, will we be able to go like that? No, we need to use something called as GPS, right? And that's what what's the full form of GPS? Does anybody know? Sorry? Global positioning system. But in spirituality, we say Guru positioning system. Okay? So the Guru is the one who's going to position you, right, in this material world. He will show you the way. He will navigate you where you have to go. And how you will navigate? He will navigate by giving this knowledge, which has been lost. Okay? That's there. Then Prabhu also mentioned about renounced. Okay, renunciation. So does he say that shall we renounce everything and just go and just do the bhakti and everything? So what does actually what kind of renunciation? Please explain what he actually meant. Anybody, please. Yes, Mataji.
Doing your duties side from your inner to be renounced.
Thank you, Mataji. Yes. Renounce. What we need to renounce? We need not renounce our ego. Okay, we need to renounce our illusion. Right? We need to renounce that I'm the doer, that everything belongs to me. There's a one perpetual lie which we live with every day. The lie is that I will never die, or everything belongs to me. Right? My house, my car, okay, my iPhone, my phone, right? You know, when the battery dies, what do we say? You see the kids those saying, I'm dying. we connect ourselves with the phone. Oh, my battery is low. My battery. we don't get charged, do we? Right? So this is their thinking. Prabhu told about thinking, how the Guru helps us in thinking, how we develop that positive thinking in spirituality. When Arjuna was in agony, he was bewildered. What did Krishna did?
He charged him.
He charged him, yeah, but what did he? Sorry?
He gave him knowledge.
He gave him knowledge. He gave the knowledge by giving the Bhagavad Gita. He told him Bhagavad Gita, right? Yudhishthira was also in agony and bewilderment when they won the war. Why Krishna never taught him Bhagavad Gita?
Sorry? So what? So why? He could give him the knowledge. He gave him knowledge to Sun God and Sun and Brahmaji. So why couldn't he give knowledge to Yudhishthira? The reason why he never gave the knowledge to Yudhishthira because Arjuna inquired before taking any actions. Right? Yudhishthira inquired after taking the actions. So this is where the Guru helps us to have this knowledge so that we can inquire before we take any actions. Okay, so this is what I'm very thankful to Narayan Keshava. He has taught us so many things, and association is very important. He talked about association. I'm going to keep it very simple. There's two brothers, and one was devoted, one was not very devoted. And then when he was the one who was devoted, he used to say, brother, say, look, do something, it will help you. And he says, don't worry, it's the same thing. Who's seen what happens after death? Nobody knows. You've seen loads of people say to us, you haven't, nobody knows what happens after death. I haven't seen it. Have you seen it? Right? So he said, okay, when you die, and then when you go to Yamlok, ask the question to Yamaraj, what the association can do. Right? So he died, he passed away, he went to Yamlok, Yamaraj was there, he asked the question, what the association can do. And Yamaraj says, I don't know. So let's go to Shivji. And they all went to Shivji. And he asked the same question, and Lord Shiva said, I don't know. So let's go to Lord Brahma. So they went to Lord Brahma, and Lord Brahma said the same thing, I don't know. It's a very hard question, what the association can do. Then they all decided to go to Lord Vishnu. Let's go to Krishna. So when they all went, Brahmaji, then Shivji, then Yamaraj, and the material man. Okay, so they're all going. So they went to the door, and you know who stands on the door of Lord Vishnu? Jai Vijay, right? They never allowed the four Kumaras to go in. Okay, so when they saw Lord Brahma, Vishnu, and they bowed down, they said, we want to meet Lord Vishnu. They say, yeah, please come in. So they went in, they stood in front of Lord Vishnu, and they asked what the association can do, and Lord Vishnu started laughing. And he says, everybody's thinking, why is he smiling? Then he said, you go, all of you, when you came in, were you stopped by Jai Vijay? He said, no. And then with all these supreme personalities, Vishnu, Brahmaji and Yamaraj was that man. Right? So Vishnu said that because you were devotee and because of association, he entered my lok. So he won't go back to this material world now. Right? He will be liberated. So this is what the association can do. And again, going back, Narayan Keshava Prabhu has enlightened us, given his association today, so that we can, if we apply these things, what he have taught us today, then one day we will be not liberated, probably liberated, I'm talking about myself, not be liberated, but again can have the illusion can be removed from this knowledge. Okay. So we will have Aarti. Thank you. If you give big 3 Hari Bols to Narayan Keshava Prabhu. Hari Bol, Hari Bol.